Like at this point of your career, who do you think, who do you look at and listen to and say, wow, I didn't know that before. That's really inspiring. That's really good to know.
Oh, well, I mean, first of all, that interview with Venus Williams was so incredible. First of all, I just understood her more because she's so sort of even keel. And now I understand she has that mindset to keep herself like with that poker face when she's playing tennis so people can't read her. But man, she is so dynamic. And I loved what she said about when she put it in such an articulate manner when she said, discipline is freedom. And then she said, if you have discipline, you have everything you want in your life. And if you don't have discipline, you don't have everything you want in your life. And for her, the anxiety sets in when she knows she's not being disciplined because she knows it's kind of, falling apart. And so that to me was a mic drop moment in the entire event. For me, I mean, she just blew me away with that.
I mean, how much discipline do you have? I mean, is that something that you've learned? Is that something that you already knew beforehand that still can be
Well,
enhanced a little?
for me, it was such a validation because I am so much, and I have spoken all the time about discipline. I just didn't formulate it in that powerful punch. Discipline is freedom. That to me was like, that's what I've been trying to say because once I really learned how to cultivate discipline, and I talk about this all the time, I talk about so many people are looking to be motivated, and I love being motivated. I do. I love that inspiration, but I don't depend on motivation. I depend on discipline. So many people need to be motivated before they get themselves in action. And the difference is discipline, you do something whether you want to or not. And so that's where I've really trained myself like a muscle. And I started off with very easy gradient type activities until I was able to build the muscle, which then gave me the confidence that I need to be competent. And the muscle is this. It's if you say you're going to drink a gallon of water a day, drink a gallon of water a day. And then check that box like, wow, I said I was going to do something and I did it. You said you were going to take your vitamins and then you took your vitamins. Or you said you were going to make your bed and you made your bed. Or you said you were going to work out or do your activities and you did it. Over time, eventually it reinforces in your mind, wow, I can depend on myself to do what I say I'm going to do. So then when you add some big picture concept or idea behind it, like I'm going to be a millionaire or a billionaire, or I'm going to make this entrepreneurial business become a success, suddenly the universe isn't laughing at you. All of a sudden the universe is like, wow, this person does what they say they're going to do. So I have no doubts, and it doesn't sound ridiculous. Whereas a person who doesn't follow up and doesn't do what they say they're going to do and doesn't practice discipline and is like, well, if I feel like it, I don't feel like it, if I have motivation, if I don't have motivation, if my feelings are hurt or not, means the difference between whether you're going to do something or not. Then the universe laughs at you and they're like, oh yeah, right. But someone that has actual discipline, the universe skips over them and goes, you know what? I don't want to mess with them. They're too hard of a target to take down. Let me go take down these other people who are easy, who will fold it, at anything.
You may have already answered the question, but what's the misconception of discipline? You get up at 6 o'clock. You get up at 6 o'clock every morning.
The misconception about discipline is that it's not fun, that it's arduous. Like, who wants to have discipline? That sounds so not fun. What sounds funner is like, let's go party, live life to the fullest. We only live one time. When's enough? Like, oh, you work too hard and 4-day week or 4-hour week or whatever we're doing. Like, that sounds like the complete opposite of discipline. And the misconception about discipline is once you actually have discipline, how freaking amazing you feel about yourself and about reaping the rewards that you've actually manifested. Manifested isn't just a fancy word that people are humming about, like, oh, I'm going to manifest my dreams and just think about it. No, manifestation actually means make appear to the eye. It means make seen in the physical universe. And discipline, the misconception is that when you actually have discipline, you actually manifest, make known, make seen your dreams into reality.
We are on the same page right now, because if I wish I could share the screen with you, I've just got done reading the New York Post, where the whole topic was manifestation. Here's the new trend right now, manifestation. And I was going to ask you, is it a real thing? How do you incorporate it? And
$1,000,000%, but I think people really have to understand what the word means. It's not just a thinking, an idea. What's not real, or what's not real to me, that if you think something and it stays inside of your head without an action being done, without a doingness, it does not show up in the physical universe. Like, even if you were like gonna win $1 million in the lottery, you had to do something, right? You had to purchase the ticket. You don't just go, I want to win the lottery, and it just all of a sudden there's $1 million on your kitchen table. That's not how it works. You actually have to do the doingness of something. You actually have to purchase the lottery ticket. So manifestation is a real thing. You have to have the vision. Like, you have to, for me, once I learned this one little trick that was actually from L. Ron Hubbard, he has this concept of be, do, and have. Well, I had it inverted. I thought I had to have the thing, like the billionaire status, in order to have the confidence to be able to not have a worry or a complaint if someone doesn't take my phone call, or if I lost a deal. Well, I wouldn't care if I was a billionaire, because then who cares? Like, all these ideas, right? So I thought I had to have a certain thing before I could be the thing. I thought I had to have, earlier on in my career, like a successful career before I could actually say I'm an actress. But it's an actual inverted process. So we're back on manifestation, right? In order to have the thing you want, you do have to see the future. And what does it look like? Well, if you want to have your career, or the money, or a successful family, a husband, what is that relationship that you want it to look like? Write everything down, see it, reverse engineer, and live from the present into that picture. Instead of, most people live from the past, present to the future, right? But if you live from the past, you're constantly going into the future going, well, that program didn't work. This idea didn't work. Oh, and you give up because everything brings you back to a failed, or a time you tried to do a diet and you failed. So why start again? Because that doesn't work. But if you forget about your past and you live from your future manifested image of what you want your life to be, then you reverse engineer, well, what is the doingness that's going to get me to connect me from this present time to who I want to be in the future? What is the doingness? If I want to be a billionaire, should you know about money? How do billionaires treat money? How do they scale? How do they market? What's different? Why am I not thinking bigger? Who do I have to get around? What do I need to know about multiple streams of income? You know what I'm saying? If I want to have a successful marriage, what do I need to do? Well, I would have to be ethical, monogamous, create on that relationship. And what does that look like? Do we have, you know what I'm saying? Reverse engineer. And then, this is the most important, well, other than the doingness, is the beingness. Like, right now, be that future picture of what you want. It's not imposter syndrome. It's be it now. Wear the hat. How does a billionaire act or respond? They don't spend money that they don't have. That's imposter syndrome. They understand money. They understand investments. So how would I respond if I knew for 1,000,000% certain in my future I'm a millionaire, multimillionaire? If I lost a deal today, but I knew in 5 years I had everything that I wanted, how would I respond to that deal? Would it have caved me in and crushed me and make me go drink or self-drug or whatever, that people do when they have an upset? Or go get angry at my wife or take it out on my children or kick the dog, Like, no, that's not what you would do. If you already knew you had that, you would respond differently. That's what I'm talking about the beingness. Wear that hat. Don't need digits in a bank account to validate who you are or want to become. Be it now, own it, and then do it by taking the actions. And then yes, that having this picture becomes manifested because there's a visual sight picture of, wow, I manifested a flourishing and prospering monogamous relationship with my husband. I'm still figuring out the mom thing with teens, but my kids, have you seen them? They're incredible. Like, I'm doing the doingness on how do I become like a very good mother and partner and businesswoman and leader to the women in this empowering women movement. Like, I have to go wear the hat, do it, and then I have it. So I live from the future, not the past, because my past doesn't have the picture of who I want to be. So if I have a failure, it's what I had to go through and experience in order to have that picture. So it's never a setback to me. It's a fall forward. It's what can I do differently? And I had to go through that growth experience. I had to learn about that aspect of something that I didn't know in order to get there. So no program or mentorship or anything that I ever go through is a failure because I'm always searching and sucking out of what I wanted from that one piece of content to get me where I wanted to go, because everything I do is impactful because I'm going for that picture. Even if something wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, I'm studying that aspect. Well, how can I eliminate that for when I do things on stage or presentations? Okay, I'm going to make a note here and make a note there. So everything I do connects me to that future picture. And then one day you wake up like we just did, and now we're setting a new target and a new unit of time. But one day you wake up and you realize, oh my God, I have the picture that I actually created for myself 10 years ago, and I have been doing all the actions to actually make it manifest. So yes, it's very real.
Now with that, I was looking at one of your old LinkedIn posts, and I think the topic was failure is depressing. Failure is energy sucking. How do you get out of that rut? I mean, how do you go from the dwelling stage to let's get back on track, and then
well, I'll tell you what I do. Again, I connect up with my picture and who I am. And the second thing is I realize I don't have my pipeline full enough. So when I am upset about losing something or having a failure, I look at, well, why am I not big enough to this one thing matter so much? And then that's when I go back to my drawing board of, well, what is another idea? Or how can I put out 10 more fishing lines, How can I get busy? I'm always doing a doingness rather than staying in my head and feeling sad about it or miserable or using it as an excuse to stop and do less, which is the temptation for me, by the way. I don't know how other people respond to things, but when I have a blow, like I want to stop and shut down. What I have to recognize in that moment is the enemy to me is happy and they won in that moment when I stop. So that reboots me, because when you know your purpose of like, okay, I want to 3 things, okay, other than being supporting my husband on helping his products reach the planet for financial literacy and legacy for others. My purpose is empower women, protect children, and restore the family unit on the planet. Those are my 3 things. That's everything I do. You're going to find that. So when I stop because I've had a loss or somebody's made me wrong, I realize, okay, the people who don't want to see women empowerment, or the people who don't want children to be able to flourish and prosper who suppress them or sex traffic them or whatever? And then how about, people that want to destroy the family unit? Well, if I'm not out there helping people, talking to people, showing people a path, a way, educating, enlightening, entertaining people, then the people that are on the opposite side of me are winning when my voice is silenced. So that gets me picked back up by the bootstraps because I'm not letting that team win. When I fail, the other side is like, yay, we got her. I can go down. I can freaking have the wind sucked out of me. They can win the little battle, but they are not winning the war. I am fighting this war until my dying breath on this planet.
And when it comes to building an empire, where does staying fit on that priority list?
It's one of the 4 pillars. I mean, there's the mindset, there's dynamic relationships. These are all the 4 things that you need for to build a foundation of an empire. You need the right empire mindset, dynamic relationships. You need to know how to master your money. People don't want to talk about that, but it's essential. And the 4th thing is the lifestyle, your health and wellness. So those are the 4 pillars. And you can't be 10x or have an empire with any one of those 4 pillars collapsed. You can't be 10x in health and not have money or have deteriorating relationships. Like you don't have a strong foundation. So you can't have these great relationships and your health be failing. It has to be, how are you 10x? How do you build and fortify and make every single pillar strong? I mean, it's, what do you have without your health and fitness? Like an empire requires energy. It requires cognitive awareness, alertness. It requires stability, emotional stability. Do you know what I'm saying? So health is very important because if you don't have your health in for yourself and for those around you, what have you got? What else matters? Money doesn't matter if you're not well. Your relationships, how good are they if you can't travel or be with them or hang out with them and give any quality of time? It's crucial.
Well, what's the trick's maybe not the right word, but what is the trick to keeping all 4 pillars even? Or is that even a possibility?
Oh,
so financial success, but then your health is middle, or relationship in the middle, or low. How do you keep them all balanced and not overdo one and not the other?
I have a program. It's called the Empire Academy. And so every quarter, I have a 2-day workshop that we do here in Miami at our headquarters. And the first one is on empire mindset. And the attendees go through with me this 2-day workbook. So that gets them, oh my God, I never realized I was using this concept or thought to hold me back. And now, so they go through this whole process, right? Then the next one builds upon that, which is the dynamic relationships. How to detect red flags. Who are the toxic people? How do I go get what I want around me? What is the exchange? What do I want out of a friend relationship, a family relationship, a business relationship? Like, what are we equally exchanging between each other? Most people, these are concepts they don't even think about. Okay. And then the third one, master your money. Really getting people educated and understanding about the money. The only 3 things you need to know about money. I never went to college. I consider myself, pretty well versed on the subject of money now. It doesn't take a college degree. It just takes very simple, basic understanding, right? And then the 4th one is this lifestyle, this health, this wellness, this lifestyle. How do you actually make everything that you want manifest? So it's quarterly over the year, and then it's cyclical. So I go through the same thing myself. I know it sounds crazy because I wrote the program, but I go through the same thing because once now I've gone through the empire and I've gotten my mind to go this, and then now I've filtered out the relationship where I figured out how to make them work and I've gotten all on the same page and now we're working together. Now this helps with the money because now I've got all these people working together in the business and same page with the partner and this, and now I know how to work my finances, and now I see more manifestation. I know how to do it. Then I go through it all over again because now I got all the pieces, and I just did the practical the whole year long with implementing the whole little process. Now we go through it all over again because now you've been through it. Now you have different awarenesses and realities on, oh, that means this, and I remember I worked on that, and now, so we go through it all over again, and it's cyclical, and we just continue to expand and get bigger and build and layer on top of it. So yes, I apply what I apply and what Grant and I apply in our lives over and over and over. The cyclical process we've now made available for the public that want to do this process along and grow with us.
Where did Elena Cardone see herself when she was a high school senior?
Oh my God. Well, I wanted to be an actress. I went to Los Angeles at 17 years old. I knew no one. That's when I graduated high school. So I just thought if I can make myself have financial success as an actress, I was going to be happy for the rest of my life. I didn't want to be married. I didn't want to have kids. I thought I couldn't take on that responsibility. I thought I would ruin kids. And so at high school, I just thought, you know, I'm going to just be an actress and not depend on anyone and not have a family. And that was it. That was the vision.
And when did that shift, or how did that change? When did it change as well?
It changed a lot when 2008 happened. I found myself already married I was 30 years old when I got married to Grant. We were in our marriage for the first 4 years, and you know, I was operating separately. Then 2008 occurred, and the financial crisis occurred. I was pregnant with our first child, and I realized my acting career really was going nowhere. I was a dilettante. I wasn't a professional. I never took responsibility for my career. I always put it in the hands of somebody else. And so I didn't have this blooming career that I could have had if I would have done things differently or known what I know now. So in 2008, that's when it all happened. Grant and I were on the verge of losing everything financially, which was nothing about what it is today. But, you know, we thought this girl from New Orleans, I thought, you know, we were highfalutin. We had a house up in the hills. I mean, I thought we were wealthy, you know, and then it took an economic collapse and we were almost on the verge of losing everything. And that's when I realized, what am I even doing this acting career thing for? And I looked at it and I thought it was an escape for me to get out of New Orleans, because that's the only thing that I had for me. Like, what else was I going to do? I didn't feel like I had the intelligence to go do anything in the corporate world or space. I didn't think I was smart enough, you know? And so I thought, okay, well, I like acting, and there I go. And I can escape New Orleans, because that was not a good environment for me as a teenager. But then back to 2008, I'm with Grant. We're about to lose everything. And that's when I said, you know what, I have to go all in on him and figure out how I can bring all of the assets that I possess into this relationship and support him to get to where financially we could take care of ourselves and build this thing called an empire. And that's when I had the vision for everything. And I said, Grant, let's do this thing together, and I'm going to support you, and you're going to go build this incredible thing, and we're going to make it together. And then I put aside all of those women's rights activists that are non-existent but existed in my head. I had to say, nope, I'm going all in on a guy. I'm going all in on my marriage. I'm going all in on us. I found the one I trusted. And you can do what you want with it. You can kick me out of all womanhood everywhere, but this is where I'm going. I'm I'm willing to look stupid over it if it doesn't work out. And that's when I just made the change, and I've never looked back. I've been able to now have everything that I envisioned back then. It took a lot of beingness and a lot of doingness, but the reward now has tremendously paid off. And it all shifted when I realized that it was bigger to do something with somebody else and create on a bigger way than I had known how to do before with the acting career.
Now, when it comes to business, family, I would say fitness as well, how much sleep do you get at night?
Oh, I make sure I get at least 7 hours of sleep. I use discipline. I don't go to bed by when I feel like it. I go to bed by the clock, which can be difficult for people to do. I wake up by the sunrise. Because I just have a lot of productivity in the morning. I have my whole protocols that I do. I'm on the superhuman protocol. I'm on the 10X vitamins. I do IVs from time to time. And I work out. I breathe the oxygen. I'm on the pent mat. I do the red light beds for cell rejuvenation, recovery. You know, all these protocols that I do on a daily basis to make sure that I have everything that I need to be the person that I want to become in the future and to sustain what we have already built.
So with that, when you hear someone says, I don't have the time to get all this done in a day, there's not enough hours in the day for me to get this done, you say or think what?
Well, I say or think, well, it's a lie, because if they were honest and wrote everything down, I could probably find, if they were really honest, like where can you economize on time? Are you doing loaf time? Are you having conversations like with your friends, or hanging out, or wine time, or movie time? Like, where's all the time? Because there's actually a lot of time. Like, wake up earlier, wake up at 5 a.m., go to bed at 9, have a set time, just block out your times, and then get to the point where, as you make the highest and best usage of your time, you're going to start producing more financially. It's just a given. And when you do that, take those funds and reinvest in yourself, either in self-enhancement or spending the money to hire out. Like, I don't look at people as costing me money. People allow me to go create more. So if they don't have the time, then hire somebody to clean your house. If you don't have the time and the money, I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. Like, because people who are actually working and producing, the money just is there. It shows up in the physical universe. You're not either being efficient, you have misunderstoods about finance, you have misunderstandings about what your role is or your job, or you're not in the right vehicle. There is some out point that you are missing. Otherwise, money is everywhere. Pete Grant says this all the time. It's, who's got my money? You're not making enough connections with people. You're not marketing. You're not promoting. There's some element that you aren't doing right. But when the money starts coming in, hire somebody to do these things that are costing you or preventing you from being able to do what you do best, whatever that is, highest, best usage of your time is. Right. But if you use time as an excuse, I just say, I warn you that if you fight for your excuses get to win. You get to have them. If you fight for your excuses, you get to keep them.
Building an empire, when it comes to building success, is it essential to be elite in one aspect and so in the other pillars? Or is it better to be very good at everything, but not elite in one?
I think very good in everything for good stability, but change that mindset. That's empire mindset. Why not? Why can't you be elite in all areas? Why? Why not? How can you? It is possible. It is possible to operate at heightened levels of success. It is possible to be elite in all areas, you know? And how do you balance all of the juggling balls? You know, when people ask me that work-life balance question that I get all the time, I just don't assume work-life balance has to look like this perfect, even keel of everything. You know, sometimes it looks like I need to focus on health. So maybe this ball drops just a little, but it's still high because I'm already operating in high levels on all 4 pillars. But this one drops just a little, not down here into danger, but drops down to here. So maybe I have to hire out somebody or have somebody help me maintain this area while I go focus a little bit of attention to get this one continued rising. And then when I'm doing this one, you know, maybe something financially, or I've got to go work or build up a seminar. Okay, who can I put over in the relationships to handle the kids or grants when I can't be there, or I have to be out of town at an event? How can I hire a chef or a nanny or a driver for the kids when they don't need me, so that I can go focus on my work family, you know, or my women's groups or whatever. So that's when you delegate, and then you can keep all of the balls in the air and not go down into danger of like fracturing one pillar.
Works for me. With that, what do people get wrong? What do
people get wrong? Not having a plan, not having, you know, not knowing what they need to know about, not taking responsibility, thinking life is just going to happen for them magically, like not having intentionality, not, you know, doing the necessary requirements to have understanding and knowledge in the field that they want to be successful in. You know, like if you want success, invest in yourself. Invest in self-enhancement. That's one thing people can't take away from you. So, you know, people ask me all the time, what would you do if you lost all your money? Well, it would suck, but it's not going to take me half as long to recreate it the second time, because why? I've self-enhanced. I understand about relationships. I understand about the mindset, doing the work, the people, the contacts that I've made around the world. How many people would help me now? I understand about promotion and marketing and collaborations, all these things that took me years to figure out. That can never be taken away. I've got courage. I've got grit. I've got discipline. I've got ethics. I've got integrity. I've got honor. I've got, you know, all of these things. Those are my assets. You can't physically see them, but that's me. And so invest in yourself. That's what money is used for. That's another misconception. Like, people don't understand money. They think they got to hoard it and hold on to it. No, it's a tool. It's a tool. It's an energy. It's how can I use money to self-enhance and reproduce and circulate it and have it come in and come out. But people put so much false information and significance on money and make it mean all these other things that they actually cut the flow and they stop the flow. So get the right mentorship, align with the people who have the stats in the areas that you want, and go deep on that person, rather than going and listening to 100 different self-proclaimed social media experts that don't have what you actually want in the areas that you want them in.
What was the best piece of advice that you were given?
You know what? I was probably given a lot of advice early on, but I couldn't even hear it because I thought I had to do everything myself. So if I would have been given, and I know I was, important data, it wouldn't have been legitimized, because somehow that would have discredited me if I got any help from anybody else. So I feel like I can't even properly answer that question, because that is the condition of degradation that I was in for most of my life. The best piece of advice that I've actually given to myself now, ironically, is become the best friend to yourself. Hold yourself accountable. Forgive yourself, but don't treat yourself in your head how you wouldn't treat another person. Because I used to beat up myself horrendously, and I would never do that to one of my friends. So I've learned how to become a best friend to myself, and I think that's one of the best pieces of advice that I've heard anyone say to me. And it's the best piece of advice that I can give, is how do you really become the best friend to yourself?
Is there one guilty pleasure that no one knows Elena Cardone just likes to do on her downtime?
Oh man, well, I don't know if it's not that anyone doesn't know, but I love, this is crazy, but I've had a trampoline my entire life. Like, I'm very energetic. I like movement. So I have a trampoline at my house for my kids. But when I have nothing going on, and it's on the beach, it's amazing. But when I have nothing going on, I like to go out and just jump on the trampoline and look at the ocean. And like, it looks like I'm doing nothing, but in my head, that's when I'm visualizing and doing all of this stuff that like just energizes me. So as crazy and weird as that sounds, that's like my loaf time pleasure.
Was there ever one idea that came about there that stands out more than others?
Yes. One time I wanted to stop and quit. I was given a pretty significant blow. And so I was actually contemplating the damage that I could incite on this other group that I felt wronged me. And then again, another L. Ron Hubbard quote popped into my head that said, flourish and prosper, flourish and prosper. That is how you respond, not with like, hatred and resentment. So flourish and prosper. So then I started to create and think about that. And I thought, wow, flourish and prosper. How can we get Grant known globally? Okay, let's have a Cardone licensee program. Grant, here's an idea. You take it, run with it. He blew it up. He is such a incredible mind. I love that man. He is so magnificent. Cardone Capital. Ryan Secco and I kind of birthed this one together, where we wanted to open that up to all investors, not just how we had been doing it before, where it was just me and Grant. We wouldn't let anyone collaborate with us. Cardone Capital came about. Another one was Grant used to do these all-day workshops that were just extremely treacherous for him, just draining. And I had this idea, why don't you just do the half day and charge the same amount? And he did, and doubled the income and doubled the amount of people at these seminars. So random things over the years, but the birth of the Empire Elite, the birth of 10X couples retreats, all of this comes out of those moments of how can I create, and what would this look like, and how can we expand, and how can I do more?
So is that an example, or maybe even an endorsement of saying, hey, just getting out, staying active, clear your head, can bring about ideas and just elevate your success?
For me, it works. I don't know what other people do or what their winning formula is, but when I get outside, when I put my attention on things, like I need a view. I don't like having all the thoughts go on in my head, because I do have a very active, internal process. I like to go out. I like to look at things, and I like my movement, like the trampoline is like this motion, like, yeah, we're going to do this, because I'm not one of these sit still type people. So yeah, I believe when I am stuck in my head, I always go take a walk and look at things. So that can't be bad for anyone. because it puts your attention out of your head and onto the physical universe, like the green curtain, the dust in the corner, the shiny wall, the light. Now when you're looking out, you're not in, and it just helps to like bring it back out.
Now, are you listening to earbuds? You have headphones on, or are you just clear, just your mind?
I'm not listening to, sometimes I do, but that's a different thing, because I listen to books on tape. I've probably listened to 38 books this year, but when I'm doing that, I'm focusing on the book, and I am getting ideas and concepts, but it's a little different than when I go into my, my zone of where I'm mapping out and creating, okay, well, if I go in this direction, what would I need, and what would that look like, and da 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 da, and then, okay, well, this thing happens over here. What do I need to prepare for? That's like a whole, I'm playing chess with life, but not with life when I'm doing this other thing on my trampoline or my Pilates ball. I have a Pilates ball for when I'm inside, because it's similar kind of effect. I know it's really weird and personal, but you asked what do most. I was very embarrassed to tell people about this, because I just thought this is not normal, and I just thought it was very weird, and now I've just embraced it. I have my process. It works for me. I'm not embarrassed. I'm a little embarrassed about it, but not overwhelmingly like I used to be. Now it's like, okay, yeah, I like motion.
Last question. What is your favorite workout? Like, is that your go-to workout, or do you have something else?
No, my favorite workout, because I need discipline to do weights, and you need weights to build muscle. I don't have to tell muscle and fitness about this, but my favorite workout is MMA type stuff. I love Thai. I like jiujitsu. I like kicking, elbows, knees, kicks. Like I like that. I like, 2 minutes on, 1 minute off. I like the rings, the times, that's just my favorite workout. It goes by the fastest. It just gets a lot of aggression out. It pumps me up. I have such a massive adrenaline dump after one of those. I just feel so empowered after I do a rigorous workout like that, because my body doesn't naturally punch and kick, and so for me to have to really work and try to coordinate like the turn and the all this technical stuff with the power and the punches and the twist of the back leg and the hip and all these things, it's like trying to do the two things at one time. But when I actually, and I never think I'm going to get good at this thing. It doesn't matter. It's just me controlling and overcoming this opposition in my head of something that is so unreal and so unnatural for me. And then all of a sudden I do hit a few with a right and with power and with impact. And then it's like, wow, I feel great about myself.
Does a martial arts mindset have an effect or play into a business and to success?
I don't see the difference. I 1,000,000% agree. Like, there's so many levels I could talk to you about. It's what I've learned from martial arts is confronting difficult situations. Like, I've sparred. I've had black eyes before. Not that you need to go and do that, but when the very first time I attempted to do Brazilian jiu-jitsu, right? BJJ. And the guy, and I've never been in a fight in my life, right? And then we went through how you have to land and this, and then the guy is like, okay, we're going to do this now. And then, cracks me to where I fall down. It's like, like getting myself to confront these like situations that just are scary to me. Then it makes business seem easy, right? The other thing is there's so many different tactics and strategies, and do I sit back? Am I patient? Am I aggressive? Dodging, weaving, these are all strategies. Pretending weak to come back strong, showing the smile when you're really hurt. Like, what is the tactic and the strategy? All of this plays into business. Like, what do you want to show in business? Do you just have one reaction? which is the only one you know, or can you be able to think cleverly? Okay, I need to approach this situation by just maybe not reacting or having a more neutral, not poker face, or, you know, the game plan and the strategy around it. So I think martial arts is very similar to business, except maybe slightly milder, because in martial arts, people are very respectful of the bell and the referee, and you can tap out, and it's, you know, a relatively nice sport where you can, you know, be bloodied and pass out. But in business, there's no one there saying, hello, she taps out, and they will do everything they can to annihilate you, kill you, beat you beyond your passing out phase. So to me, the business world is more brutal than the martial arts world, even though...
How is breathing through martial arts just taught you how to relax more in a business environment?
Well, what people do not know how hard that is for the breathing. I mean, yeah, the breathing to just get yourself centered, energized. I breathe with an oxygen mask, by the way, in between some rounds to be able to absorb more oxygen, to make myself have more cardiovascular endurance. But yeah, so being able to take that breath and being humble. That's a whole other aspect about martial arts, is being humble and not, and being respectful of your opponent also helps with business.
Now, is there any chance Elena Cardone will be on a jiu-jitsu tournament anytime soon?
No. I mean, I am a whitest of white belt, very new to that world, but yes, the martial arts, MMA, fighting, not a chance, but yes, I can be caught sparring with my trainers often.
Got it. Elena, got everything here. Thank you so much, man. This was awesome.
Thank you.